Hi, I'm Everett. Welcome back to the shop. And thank you to all of you who are still with me even after I committed the cardinal YouTube sin of not posting anything for a year last year. Thanks for sticking with me. This time there's nothing really super spectacular or groundbreaking, just a couple things that I think are kind of cool that I've wanted for a long time. One of which is a trolley and a chain hoist to put on the beam that's going through the middle of my garage that holds up the upper floor. And the other is a little jig I picked up off of local classified ads. Before I get into it though, last time I talked with y'all was just before Christmas, and let's just say that I just want to say one fun thing. My wife is awesome, and we poke at each other a little bit every now and then about getting older, and I guess technically now I'm in my mid-40s, and I'm noticing that my arms are getting longer or shorter and shorter, and the print has to go farther and farther away to actually be able to focus on small print. I've had perfect vision all my life until now, but it's just the time marching on. I especially noticed it when I wrote my apprenticeship exams actually shortly before the last video for my heavy duty and finish it up, and I noticed seriously that I did the provincial without glasses, or my reading glasses, and the interprovincial with reading glasses. Man, what a difference. Well, my wonderful wife got me these for Christmas. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera lens, but the bottom, there you go. Through here is standard safety lens, no prescription. Down here is a 1.5 cheater. So what's awesome is as I'm wearing them, looking straight forward, I can do what I need to do. And if I have to read a micrometer, I can just go down here and suddenly it's way easier to read. So thank you, honey. I just want to publicly say thank you to my wonderful wife for these because, yeah, I'm getting old. On that note, again, thank you to the 15,000 of you who, who've still stayed subbed to my channel, even though I've done absolutely jack the last year. Just want to say thanks to everybody, and for that, I have a silly little draw. It's nothing expensive, nothing huge, it's what I have to share at the moment because it's what I have extra of. And you may see here I still have the bin of draw names. If you put your name in any of the previous draws, they are still here. The only people who are not going to be drawn are those in the lucky paperclip, the previous winners. Otherwise, everybody else, y'all are still in here. Even through the move and everything, I kept it. So if you've submitted your name for there we go. If you've submitted your name for a previous draw, you're still in here. If you would like to have your name in the draw this time, and for subsequent draws, if something ever happens, this channel keeps growing, then by all means send me an email. Email address is in the description below, and shoot me an email. Say you want to be entered in the draw, and tell me a little about yourself. It's been really cool getting to see some of the projects that other people have been building around the world and different tools and types of shops they have. This is half the fun of this, honestly. So by all means, just shoot me an email, and if you want to share a bit about yourself. Otherwise, for the prize this time, again, nothing really fancy or whatever, but the mighty Power Fist dial indicator. Got one of those in the bin here for you. And again, I know it's not super fancy, but a digital caliper. I actually do use these at work, and they're not bad. You wouldn't want to build an engine with it, but for a lot of other stuff, it's actually they're actually plenty sufficient. I just put a fresh battery in this one. I know these things eat batteries like crazy, but yeah. So dial indicator, digital caliper, up for grabs. I'll do the draw on February 7th, and sometime in the afternoon or evening of the February 7th. Get it in before noonish. If it comes in 1 or 2ish and I don't do the draw till 5, whatever, you're in. So February 7th, we'll do the draw, and postage is on me. If I can legally mail it to you, then I'll ship it off to you. There are some places in the world at the moment where Canada Post just won't deliver, so my apologies. If it just so happens that way, then we'll figure something out. We'll figure it out later. But if I can legally mail it to you and your name is pulled, it's yours. But anyway, I've got a few minutes of just yapping here, and I'm sure you'd rather just see me make a fool of myself building something. So the boxes here are covered in a fair amount of dust because, well, they've been sitting on my shelf for over a year since I got them. So I finally have a chance to use them. I'll pop the tape on the trolley. Tape on the strapping, I should say, on the hoist itself. Yep, fairly self-explanatory. I mean, it's not really rocket science. You got your bar with the spacers, two sides to the trolley. It's kind of fun. They have the tapered wheels there. So we need to take a measurement off of the beam. Now, one cool thing is, when we bought the house, one of the first things I noticed on the walkthrough, because the garage was unfinished when we bought the place, was I thought this beam was really cool. It's got like a good 5/16, almost 3/8 worth of web on the, on the flange here. When we first moved in, we actually needed some siding in the back because some of the siding was damaged. This house was built 2007, and written on another place in the house was the name of the home builder. So I figured whatever, looked them up, give them a call. Turns out the owners of the place don't live that far from here. This house was one of the first few they did back in 2007 with this style of I-beam in it, because they were finding with supporting the upper floor, the way the lady explained it to me was that the engineering for like a glue lam beam would have been ridiculous. So what they did is just went with I-beams, and they've been going with I-beams ever since. So this is one of the earlier ones. So we got about 5 inches, or yeah, a hair under 5, like a 5 1/16, give or take 13 centimeters. So that means we need to make our stack roughly equivalent to, well, they're saying add 6 millimeters to your beams, so if they're using metric, let's just use metric. Or how about let's drop all the shims. So if that's the case, then we're aiming for somewhere around 136 millimeters in between the, really? 136 millimeters in between the rollers. So I'd say let's start with that. And we got 2. Divvy up the, seriously? How can I be so clumsy? Yep, that's about 135, 136 there. Right, so this should theoretically be able to scooch back a smidge, have a little bit of wiggle room to be able to, yeah, a little bit of wiggle room to get it on the bar, and we'll go from there. Alrighty. One thing I did kind of find funny, when we first moved in here, this I-beam clamp was already here. It's, screw-on type, whatever, clamps on. And I could use it to hang stuff, and I probably will at some point, but I kind of like the idea of being able to slide across with the trolley. But then I noticed on the side here, shortly after we moved in, it says a little number here, PCL, and then it's got looks like an inventory number here. I'm hoping that the previous owner got it on an auction sale somewhere and that it didn't just wind up going home in his lunchbox, but whatever, it's here. I mean, PCL is a big enough company, I'm sure they're not going to care if I try chasing them down over one I-beam block. Now, was this going to work like this? Ha-ha! Yeah, well, I'll try to clock myself in the face. Please forgive me. A few years, and especially the last year of sleep deprivation, has not done any favors to my ability to reason through things. Hopefully you can at least find me entertaining. I certainly don't expect you to find me educational, because honestly, half the time I have trouble reasoning my way out of a wet paper bag anymore. Sleep deprivation with little people will do that to you. Now, trying to remember, I think it's 36 millimeters, the same as 1 7/16. And the other side we'll just use the Saskatchewan socket set. left-handed Saskatchewan socket set. There. Oh yeah. Excellent. Hooray. Wow. Like I say, I know a lot of you do really cooler stuff than this, but I mean, I'm just really thrilled to finally have my chain hoist. Yeah. Nice. Now, again, I would crank it all the way up, but I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow when my son's in school so that I can actually deal with it and not wake him up. Otherwise, I'm liable to have a crying young fella in here wondering what the heck the noise is coming through the floor. That slides. Ah, that slides so nicely. And I know a lot of you guys already have metal benders and stuff, but I will admit, this has been a fun little new toy for me. I've been messing around with it a little bit. I don't know if anybody here has ever heard of Worldware Enterprises. I've been trying to find information on these folks as far as the tools and stuff. They're obviously import tools. I mean, judging by the fonts and everything, I bet you this machine's probably 30 years old, 25, 30, especially when you start looking at the fonts and stuff and in the packaging. I picked it up off Kijiji for, well, let's just say it was a very reasonable price. I don't like giving numbers on things anymore ever since I got heck over something I bought a while ago that was a really good deal. But it's been a lot of fun because I've been asked by a church there to make more of these vestment hangers. And so, I mean, the fab shop that they got building these beforehand was asking an arm and a leg, and hopefully I can at least only charge a finger. But starting to mess around with it's 1/4-inch rod. So starting to mess around with making new hook assemblies like that. I don't know. We had a really cool diacro bender when I was at the school I used to teach at. And it would do all sorts of stuff and really up to fairly thick material. This one here is only good to about 3/8, but that's really all I need. So take a measurement off of there. Stick it in about there. And then should be able to clamp that down. And then give it a roll. And there we go. I mean, it's a little bit off, but pretty close. Close enough for what I'm going to be doing, because I want to actually modify this design anyway. Put a little hook or something on the bottom here, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. For the price I paid for it, I couldn't say no. If, as I say, if anybody has any information on who this Worldware Enterprises bunch was, or, any other sort of information, then that'd be cool, because obviously they brought in some cool stuff. But anyway, a little side note. I figured you might find that interesting. So yeah, I know it's nothing earth-shattering, nothing really spectacular or complex, but I mean, being kind of a vlog, I just figured I'd share it with you because I'm tickled with it anyway. I'm thrilled to actually finally have a chain hoist and trolley on that I-beam, because it's something I've been wanting to do since we bought this shack. Otherwise, I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks for all the comments and the support you've given me over the years. Thank you for still sticking with me, even though I was completely delinquent and absent for a year. But yeah, if you want to get in on the draw, shoot me an email. Draw is February 7th. That's probably when I'll be seeing you somewhere in that neighborhood next. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for everything. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you all for everything. I'll see you next time.